What's up, everyone? All right, so in today's episode, I'm going to break down all of my trades from the morning. Today, I traded 3 different stocks, and I had a much better day than I did yesterday. If you recall, yesterday, first trade, small loser. Second trade was down $10,000 almost instantly. It was not good. And I spent the rest of the morning, well, digging the hole a little deeper before finally recovering and finishing in the green. It was a close call. Almost started the month of April with a big red day. Totally avoidable. I gave into my impulse and overtraded and kind of chased a setup that wasn't really super solid. So today I reminded myself to slow down, pump the brakes, and wait for a setup that really looked good. So let's go ahead and jump on the screen share and start breaking it down. So when I sat down this morning, I could see that IBG was our leading gainer on the day. However, it's got 139 million shares of volume, which is fine, but I already missed the bulk of the move. I mean, it started after hours, continued pre-market, and by the time I was sitting down at 7 a.m., it was actually pulling back. So I was like, you know what? It's already pulling back, and it's a little too cheap for me. Yes, it's moving higher, but this just isn't the price range that I typically will make good money on. So I said, you know what? I better just leave it alone. But I also have to acknowledge that the leading gapper, is $1.53, and a lot of people will focus on it. So the issue this morning was essentially when I first pulled up my scans on my phone, Day Trade Dash on my phone, I saw that, well, all the leading gainers are low price stocks. So I'm like, penny stocks again. So unfortunately, I don't typically trade those very well. And so I thought, well, I guess I'm gonna have to be patient and wait for something that pops up that looks a little bit better. So let me show you my first trade. Yesterday, we had WTF. WTF is an IPO that squeezed from $4 to $28 a share by after hours. Pretty impressive. By the way, we've got an IPO coming up today. It's TOPW. It's a Chinese IPO, about 2.6 million shares outstanding. Estimated price of the IPO is between $4 and $6. Now, the thing with WTF and IPOs in general is that typically they're very volatile. So what ended up happening on this was it halts up immediately, but on, like 600,000 shares of volume. It resumes and halts down immediately. Then it curls and halts back up, and then it goes sideways for a while, drops, before rallying into a halt up. Opens, second halt. Opens, goes up again, and then halts down. Then it opens and halts up, or actually squeezes up here, drops back down, comes back up, and then squeezes up again here. So the fact is, it was very choppy at the beginning of the move. And so finally it ended up opening up, but even then it was a little bit tricky. So this morning I pulled it up and I saw that it had made this kind of head and shoulders pattern and was coming back down a little bit. Now, the previous support of this pattern was around 1944. So as I came forward and looked at this here, I said, we ran into resistance there. That makes sense. We pulled back, we came into resistance again here, we dipped down, and I bought right here on what is essentially a variation of a cup and handle formation. That's the cup, that's the handle right there. And this was buying the break of the previous support, which had become resistance. So we broke 944. We squeezed up to a high of $20.39, almost $1 a share, and then we dropped back down. I only got one trade on it, made $2,500 bucks. All right, it's a green trade, $1 a share, $2,500. Not a big position, not a big winner, but I'll take it. It ended up selling off. It bounces back up, gets above VWAP, but we're back below that 1944 level, so I didn't trade it. At the open, it pops up, then it halts down several times in a row. Not for really any clear reason. It's just the volatility of IPOs. So that was WTF. Broke the ice, got my first trade, did 1,500 shares on my starter, added 1,000 shares as it pushed higher. And so I ended up with a relatively small position. I did do a little, like a dip right around, it was $20.15. And my best exit was 2034, which is pretty good. Not bad at all, although that was a partial fill. Then the next trade I took was TRCT, or TCRT. So TCRT at about 8:30, it had popped up yesterday, pulled back, popped up again right here. And I watched it right here as it popped up. This was at about 7:25, 7:30. But the thing with this was it kind of squeezed up very quickly. It didn't really set up a pattern, so there was no trade on it. But then again, it popped up, pulled back. And when it came back up right here, I took this trade, thinking that if we broke this pivot, the high, we would maybe get a move up towards this level. And this to me was looking kind of like GRE from yesterday, where we had GRE that popped up, dropped down, broke over VWAP, and then squeezed. So that's what I was trying to time, but it didn't really work out that well. I'll just show you GRE from yesterday just as a refresher. So GRE from yesterday right here. So here's a question for you. All right, so I'll give you a pop quiz. All right, so this stock right here has just popped up. It's just squeezed. And is this a place where I should be buying right here, the first candle to make a new high, or is there a reason that I should hold off? Now, I'll make sure you could see this just well, right? So just like that. So here's what I would say. Let's do our check. How's the volume look on the ramp up? Volume, high volume buying. How's the volume look on the red candle? Light volume selling. What's the position of our MACD? It is open. And so in this case, I'd be buying that first candle to make a new high. However, I would acknowledge the risk of 3 topping tails in a row. And if it breaks over 8, I will hold. But if it breaks back below 8, the area where it's previously rejected, I would sell immediately. So if I'm getting in this at about $7.90, I'm looking for an immediate break at 8. And if it doesn't break and hold, I'm out. So let's watch what happens. Boom, we break. Well, first we test right there. So we don't break. And then we break on the next candle. And that's just fine. We get that squeeze. So right through here, we get kind of the pop, the little dip, which by itself could have been a reason to jump out. And then I would consider jumping back in if we break and hold over 8. And there we go. We got that squeeze up to 860. Then right here, we get a little micro pullback. It dips down. Do we buy this first candle to make a new high? Absolutely. There we go. We got to move up to 9 and a move up to 950 and a move up to 10. So this gave us our first pullback once and twice. This one just stalled out a teeny bit, as you can see with that topping tail. And that would have made me a little nervous because of the history of these topping tails. So a little pop, little hesitation, and then it goes. And then this pullback was even cleaner. So light volume selling on the red candles, higher volume buying. That's a nice setup. So this morning when I saw, let's see, it was TCRT hitting the scanners, I was thinking this looks sort of similar, right? Big pop, then it pulled back and that curling pattern, but unfortunately it didn't pull away. So got a small trade on that. And then if you recall yesterday, we had ICCT. What did ICCT do at the open? So it was one of the leading gappers pre-market. And then at the open, it squeezed up here $1 a share, right? So we got that big move. So SBFM was on our scans this morning and was also one of the top leading gappers. It's got 50 million shares of volume, 2 million share float. So at the open, I was looking for the same thing, the break through this level here. And what I actually ended up doing on this one at the open is I bought a dip. I got in this at 326. I bought the dip at 326 and we got this squeeze, as you could see right here. And I ended up locking up $1,700 of profit. Not a huge winner, but green nonetheless. And that put me over my daily goal, which is $5,000. $5,000 a day, that keeps the doctor away. I think that's the way the old saying goes. And it certainly keeps the regular 9-to-5 job away. And I'm feeling good about that. Now, yesterday, obviously, was a rough day. I went into the red, rallied back, finished the day up $2,700. So I'm still right now just kind of breaking the ice, getting green. And this is what I set for myself as my intention for today. So I said $5,000 goal, quarter size. Go slow. This isn't the market to be swinging for home runs. Get green with quarter size, get that $5,000 daily goal, and lock it up. You do that 5 days in a row, all of a sudden, $25,000 on the month. All right, now you've got a cushion. And who knows, maybe by that time the market will heat up a little bit, but we've got a lot of, there's a lot of external factors weighing on the overall market right now that's creating a little bit of a headwind for active traders. So we've got to be a little cautious. And I think for right now, I'm doing okay. I'm keeping my head above water. Today was a good day. Let's try to do it again tomorrow. For those of you guys, by the way, tuning in here who have been watching recaps, tuning in for a lot of them, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I want to remind you that we've got our anniversary sale here, which is ending in 6 days. So it'll end next Tuesday. We're celebrating 13 years here at Warrior Trading. It was 13 years ago that I opened the blog and started writing about everything I was learning about what it meant to be a day trader and all the technical indicators and the patterns and the chart patterns, the candlesticks, everything that I was learning. And all of that has now grown into this incredible community. And I'm just so thrilled every day to show up, to trade, to be around all of you guys who are so passionate, so excited about trading, just like me. And so we're honoring and celebrating our anniversary with this special sale. So I hope you guys check it out. Discounts on the Warrior Starter, discounts on the Warrior Pro membership, and see what it's like to be. It's great to be on YouTube, but see what it's like to be an actual member of the community where you get access to the same software that I use every single day. You get to use our simulator. You get to listen to my broadcast. It's such a great experience. So I hope you guys check out our special. And reminder as always, trading, of course, is risky. My results aren't typical, so please manage your risk. Take it slow. And I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. I'll be streaming at 7 a.m. for members at Warrior Trading.